Welcome to another episode of Small Talk on the Mats. Today's guest is a friend I've known for years. We've served together. I've been a guest on his podcast a couple of times. Pretty awesome podcast. Go check it out. Improvised Intelligence. And he's a local comedian who's been making noise both in and out of New Mexico. So, and he's a cinephile like myself, so he knows this shit when it comes to pop culture.
Yeah, I left my fedora at home.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for today's episode, I'd like to introduce to you Noah Vargas.
Thank you for having me.
Nah, no problem, bro.
Yeah, I like the setup. This is cool.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. I running late as fuck. Missed all my alarms. I was up way too late last night.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been my weekends for the last year. Is staying up way too late doing shows and doing podcasts and shit. But thank you for having me.
That's good, man.
Very excited.
Yeah, and I'm glad to have you here, bro. So, as I explained before we started rolling, my format is just going through a series of questions. And like I said, you can go as deep as you want into any question. There's no fucking time limit. We can go as far as you want.
Sick.
So I categorized them. And this podcast is more going to be just focused on you, bro. Just everything's about you. Spotlight's on you. So just have at it.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah.
All right, man. So the first section is comedy and craft, bro. So I got 7 questions for you on this category. The first question to you is, what drew you to comedy? And to caveat that question, was there a specific moment that you knew this was for you?
Yeah. So I've been a huge fan of comedy for a while. But so like, and I still kind of want to get into it, but originally I wanted to get into movies. Like I really wanted to direct. I really want to like write movies. Cause like you said, like I love watching movies. I love how I was the dork. Like when I would get DVDs as a little kid, I would still watch the like behind the scenes, like all those special features and shit like that. And what really got me into that was I got Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
Okay.
And I got that for Christmas one year, way too early before maybe the right age for watching a movie like that, but it's very violent. Anyway, what was cool was in the behind the scenes, it was showing like how they made like so all the effects in that are practical. Like so, have you seen that movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So like when they go in the gun shop and they end up killing Andy and his head explodes, like that was a real prosthetic they made, or like they made it a point to where if they could get a zombie kill on screen, they would have something behind them so they could have a blood squib explode and then the blood would hit something behind to give it a bigger effect or stuff like that. Yeah. Because if you watch something like that and then you watch a movie like The Expendables, like 2 or 3, where they're using like the digital blood, you could tell the difference. It's not as good, whatever.
Yeah.
So I loved watching that kind of thing, and then so that's when I was still in the Guard. I went to college to get my bachelor's in film, but our lovely governor made a amazing decision to cut the funding right in the middle of the fucking semester, like right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So it like cut the funding for us, and I ended up getting this huge battle with the university and about paying, because they were like, you need to pay your bill. I was like, the fuck I do.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's the Army's bill.
Yeah.
I don't have $4,500. What the fuck are you talking about? So I stopped going to school, and then I couldn't re-enroll because I still had a bill, and you can't re-enroll in the school when you still have outstanding payments, and the payment whole thing's like, all right, fuck college, whatever. I have my associates. I guess I'll write off of that.
Shit.
Yeah, because I had my associates before I got in the military in criminal justice, and I was like, all right, whatever. I guess that's my education for the foreseeable future. Like, whatever. And so I was doing the podcast at that point. So I started that October of 2020, and like, again, huge fan of comedy. Like, grew up watching like I love Jeff Dunham. I love like Robin Williams, and then like as I got into middle school, I watched like high school. I was watching like Bill Burr and like Tom Segura, Anthony Jeselnik. Well, I was listening to him like in early middle school, way earlier than I should have been for sure.
Hell yeah, dude.
I mean, when you got albums open up with rape jokes, you know, it's like damn. But so yeah. I'm listening to that kind of stuff, but I always like saw comedy as like that's such a hard thing to do, because it's just the guy or the gal and a microphone and like figure it out. You know what I mean? Like I was like, all right, I'll leave that to them. I'm not gonna try comedy. That's insane.
Yeah.
But then as I'm doing the podcast, I found out about I saw an ad for a roast battle in town, and I was like, oh, I like roast battles. I'm gonna go see a roast battle. So me and my chick went to go watch the roast battle, and I was like, fuck, like we have like legit funny people in this city. I had no idea. I didn't even know we had comedy in Albuquerque.
Right.
Because at this point, this was 2021, I want to say, 2022. around. Yeah, this is early 2022. So or maybe it's around there. But anyway, we didn't have Casadas yet. We certainly didn't have Hyenas. The old comedy club Laughs had closed down like over a decade before, so I had no idea about comedy. I guess they were just doing local shows and like open mics and shit. So I had Buck D on the podcast, and that was a blast. And then I had Jared Ostrom because Buck was hosting and Jared had won that night. And I was like, I want those guys. Yeah. And they were great. And Jared was like, yeah, we have open mics. This is where the open mics are at. And so, like an absolute idiot, I decided to go watch open mics. And my poor girlfriend came with me. And I remember like watching it and like, oh, well, yeah, no shit. Comedy isn't just like these big guys. There's a ton of people under them. That makes sense. Because I loved comedy, but I didn't like study it. I didn't like look into it that much. I just enjoyed what I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I remember we went to this open mic at Red, and it still happens, just other people run it now, at Red Door. And it was so bad. Like, this one guy was so bad that my girl went to go to the bathroom. This guy goes up, and he did like maybe 30 seconds of actual jokes. Then he just started screaming about his PTSD from the Marines. Oh, and then shit. It was just bad. It was so bad. Like, maybe you should kill yourself. We won't count you as a 22. Like, we don't, it was bad, dude. So then, like, I remember she was in the bathroom. I texted her. I was like, don't come out. I was like, stay in there. Don't come back out here. This is bad. But then, so I'm watching it. And then, me and her are splitting up for a little bit. And then I move in with my buddies. And I have this other comedian in town. She left. She's in Japan now because her husband's Air Force. Okay. Named A. Marie, and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna start running this open mic with Buck at Inside Out. You should come watch, whatever. And so me and her, we get back together, we go watch, and after the third one, they had a couple drinks on them, and they're like, you're coming to these open mics, you just watch. And it was hot too. Like, it was in the middle of the summer. It was like one of those was like 98 outside, and we're just cooking it Inside Out and watching. Like, yeah, you're coming out here and sweating for no reason. You have a notebook. You're doing stand up next week, whether you like it or not. You're doing stand up. Yeah. And I was like, I don't have 5 minutes. Like, we don't care if you have 20 seconds. You're doing fucking stand up. So the next week they signed me up. Yeah. I go up and I do it and I bomb. I just eat a fat dick, and I had one joke that got a laugh from Steph Darnell, really good comic in town. Mm-hmm. It gets a laugh from him, and I was like, oh, that's neat. And A. Marie comes up to me after the show, or after the open mic, and she goes, hey, so you're actually really good on stage. You have good stage presence, you're confident, your writing sucks. You have no idea how to write a joke, but you're not bad at this. So I have a show in a month and a half. Do you want to come do 5 minutes? And I said yes, and that's the one that you came to. Yeah. And it went surprisingly well. And I was like, oh, well, that's neat. But then to answer the second part of your question, I don't think I really had that moment until, like, because I thought I had it a couple of times. Like, I did Dry Heat, mm-hmm. which was our local comedy club that's now closed down. But I did Dry Heat the first time at their old location at their last weekend there. And it was a sold out show. It was Zach Abeda and Friends. And I did really well. And at that point, I was like maybe 7 months into like regularly doing stand-up. Okay. And I did like 10 minutes, and I didn't even think I had 7 at that point. But I managed to do 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, fuck, like that was a lot of fun. Like, what in the... And even like, me and him are good friends now, but like that was my first show I did with AJ De Leon. And like that's when I really like met like guys like Tyler Lovely and Jake Otero, and they had no idea who the fuck I was. And I remember going back into the green room, and they were like, what the fuck was that? Like, how did you just started? Yeah. How did you do that? And I was like, oh man, like I guess I do. And I got a lot of compliments from the audience. Had a couple friends show up, and they're like, what the fuck was, dude, what was that? I thought that was the moment, but it was like, all right, we'll see. And then later that year I did Casadas, and that went really well. And I was like, oh, maybe I should, like, okay. But then like after that, I just went through this dry spell of just bombing. I just like ate a dick for like, that was November of like 23. And I just ate a dick until June of the next year, just dying. I was like, am I supposed to fucking do this? And before I went to Casadas, I went out to Austin for the first time, and I saw like this really cool comic from here that lives there, and his name's Maverick. He showed me around to a bunch of clubs and met a bunch of comics and like pro comedians, not like big level guys, but like they're like pro comedians that like they work at the Mothership, they work at Creek in the Cave. they regularly like get picked up and they go on tour with guys like fucking like Tim Dillon and Theo Vaughn, and you know what I mean. It's like, oh, like these guys are like doing it. Like that's crazy.
Okay.
And I was like, I know I want to be a part of this, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know. But then, really, when it clicked was when I just went out to Austin this last time. To be honest with you, like I went out there and I got some shows from my friend Allison, completely off a vouch. Like, yeah, it's not like the clubs like I knew who, like she booked me for the show at Creek in the Cave. It's her show, but like I did a Velveeta room and they didn't know who the fuck I was. It's like, all right, she's a good comic and vouching for this guy. Hopefully he doesn't bomb. Let's give him 5 minutes. And then I did really well there. Did really well at the Creek. I got pulled at the Mothership and I did well there as well as I could have. But after doing all of that and then driving 11 hours back to Albuquerque straight, going to a Don't Tell comedy that was completely sold out and killing that, like not a dry spell at all in that set, just fucking demolishing.
Yeah.
After no sleep, I was like, oh, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
This is gonna be it now.
Okay.
Like, and then off from there, I've just been fucking. Not gonna lie, I've been fucking smashing.
Yeah.
So it feels good.
Yeah, dude. That's the way to go, man. Yeah. So it took a while to start. Like I mean, like any other profession, you know, it's just.
Well, because I mean, because also baked in between all of those moments are me just going to open mics, because I try to go to open mics as much as I can, but I've just been busy now with like real shows. But I've just been busy with the podcast and like real life and my life outside of all of this.
Yeah.
And you know, in between all of that, our local shows, like I was saying, where I just bomb, or I'm going to open mics trying to figure out what joke might work, and I just eat a dick at an open mic, and it's like, fuck, this is gay. What am I doing?
Yeah.
And it's like there was a good like 7 or 8 month period in the middle there where I was like, fuck, why am I doing this? Right? Like, why am I doing this? And then I got back on the wagon. I was like, oh, okay, that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
You sometimes you suck.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Sometimes you really suck, and then a lot of times you're doing well. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I do got a question that kind of relates to that later on. So
sure.
We'll get there. My next question to you is: do you remember we kind of went over it, but do you remember the very first time performing comedy, and what was it like? Yeah.
So I guess there's like 2 moments in that. So it's that open mic I was talking about, and it just I didn't know what I'm thankful that now granted I don't think I've bombed. Like the big bomb is still coming, and that's just because I haven't had, and hopefully it never happens, but to me it's high stakes moment where I don't meet it. Thankfully, over the last 2 years, anytime I've had a major moment where it's you have to perform, you have to, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to do well. Because there are some, you want to do well at every show, but there are some shows where it's all right, if you eat a dick here, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But there's been a few moments where it's if you eat a dick, you're never coming back to this club. Mm-hmm. If you do bad here, your friend can't vouch for you.
Yeah.
And now you're because that was the big moment for me going out to Austin, was if I don't do well at these shows that a good friend of mine vouched for me, I might not be able to be back at these shows anytime soon, and nor should I be able to, because obviously you had your moment and you failed. And then it's how do I get back into this city? You know, because that's my way into that city of Austin, is through her.
Yeah.
So thankfully, all those moments that I've had, like going on the road to Austin, to Plano, went to Ruidoso, did In the Mountain Gods. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But doing those kind of shows, thankfully I've done really well. But you know, I've been comfortable with bombing, you know, my brain doesn't go to embarrassment. My brain just goes to why isn't this working?
Okay.
And then you consistently ask yourself that for a few months in a row, and you're like, fuck, why isn't any of this working?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? So, but yeah, the first time I did stand up, it was just awkward. And I was like, all right, I like that laugh at the end, but fuck, that sucks. And then the first time I did stand-up at an actual club was at Dry Heat that weekend, and I smashed, and it felt fucking amazing. That is the greatest. I haven't done a whole lot of drugs in my life, but out of all the ones that I have, excuse me, it's still the greatest high I've ever experienced. That's awesome. It's insane. Yeah, it's insane.
Okay, so it's not on the list of questions, but so you bringing that up, does the day of the week matter? Does the ambience?
Yes.
And
yes.
The
yes.
location?
So I don't know what it is, but notoriously Tuesday nights is the hardest night for comedy. Nobody knows why. It's like a law of nature that Tuesday night is the hardest night for comedy. And then I would say, like, you don't want to do stand up during the day, because stand up while there's daylight is gay. Like, it's gay. It turns into a TED talk, and it's not fun for anybody, and nobody's really drinking. And like, alcohol and comedy have a really good relationship, and you never want to divorce the two. Yeah, that's why, like, I'll never do a show at a fucking dispensary or a consumption lounge, because that's just not fun. Yeah, I've seen them, and I'm like, I don't ever want to put myself through that. Fuck that. Yeah, but yeah, dude, you want, like, because really what you're asking is, like, how are you best set up for comedy? And the best setup is because obviously there's, like, theater shows and arena shows, and those obviously go really well. But, like, generally speaking, comedy should be done at a comedy club that has low ceilings. It's dark. It's chilly. The audience is a lot of them, a lot of people that they're packed in. They have a couple drinks in them. Great sound. All the light is off of them, and it's on you, so they're focused. Because there's this weird, like, because with comedy, you know, it's just the guy or girl speaking, right? There's no background music typically. There's no anything. It's just spoken word. So the more distractions you can eliminate, the better. Because the more opportunity or the more relaxed that the audience feels that they can speak to one another and have a side conversation, they're going to. They're just going to. Okay. Especially today with, like, people's attention spans being what they are. Yeah. They just will have conversations. They'll pull out their phone. And that's why, like, if you go to Austin and watch shows, they will lock up your phones. And a part of that is because, like, they give you, like, these little yonder bags where you put them in, they, like, magnetize them. So you have your phone the whole time, but it's locked up. You can't use it. And a part of it is because they don't want people recording the comedian sets. Like, we saw what happened with Tony Hinchcliffe. Yeah. We see what happened with Dave Chappelle a while back, where people will take something out of context and then put it on the internet. Oh, this guy's a racist. This guy's a bigot, whatever. Right. But then also, they just don't want you to be distracted. Like, you're here for the show. Watch the fucking show. You can be off your phone for an hour to an hour and a half. Yeah. That's just how it is. But you want as minimal distractions as possible. You don't want it hot, because a hot room, like a temperature hot room, is not good. And you want alcohol to be flowing. And yeah, that's really what you want for stand up. But yeah, don't do it. Oh, God, we did a show. We did a show at the fucking Civic Plaza.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
We did this show at the Civic Plaza. I fucking hate AJ. I love that guy to death, but he rapped me. He wrangled me, Tyler, Jake, and Josh Fournier into this show at the Civic Plaza for this 420 thing that was 2 weeks after 420. And so these fucking SoundCloud rappers go up and do their thing. And like, one of them he looked homeless as fuck, but that dude's actually pretty good, but the rest of them were all dog shit. Yeah. And the guy who put the show together, he gets on stage and he goes, "All right, where are my comedians at?" And, like, some of the random people at the booth start making noise. I'm like, oh no, they have no idea what's coming. And so we all did like 10 minutes. Josh, like, he's a monster, so he did like 15 or 20 just fucking with people, because you've been to the Civic Plaza, right? Yeah. So it was like the giant, like, it's all concrete. People don't understand what I'm talking about. This giant pavilion, and it's like a concrete stage that's fucking huge with these huge steps, and there's like clearly a place in front where there's supposed to be audience, and then surrounding it there were these booths and like a bunch of other booths behind them. There was nobody in front. So there's like nobody here. Like, the closest person to me was maybe 50 feet away.
Oh fuck, man.
But they could, like, they had this sound set up to where they could hear you around the plaza. Yeah. So I'm talking about, like, pedophiles and fat chicks wrestling and a bunch of wild drunk driving, a bunch of wild shit. And I can, like, see, like, into the booths. I can see a few people laughing, but most of them don't give a fuck. And the other ones are like, oh, that's fucking, why is he saying that? So yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah. That place wasn't designated for comedy, bro. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no.
But trials and tribulations, man.
Yeah.
Next question, man. Where do you draw inspiration for your material?
I don't know. I gotta be honest with you. I really don't know. Like, I try to think about, like, what weird or funny things have happened in my life, and then how do I turn that into a bit. I think about, you know, like, just things that I think are funny, like observations that I have that I think, like, I have a joke right now about that I'm working on that's doing decently about, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger's last name, and, like, how that sounds. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Right? No, I'm not gonna say it, but like I'm not gonna burn my material. But you know, it's
okay.
But like but there's a joke in there, obviously, about how his last name sounds. Like okay, like I haven't heard anybody really crack that, and I think I figured out the right way to do it. So it's like observational stuff like that, or I like politics. So like when I did Casabas, you know, I had like 3.5, 4 minutes on like Biden and Trump. Yeah. Obviously, I can't do that anymore because it's not relevant. Yeah. And now he's got cancer, so you can't really make fun of Biden that much. I mean, you can, but you know, it's definitely punching down.
Yeah.
But it's just observational stuff and like things that have happened in my life and trying to figure out like what makes sense. Is it like, how do you convert it from conversationally funny to like stage funny? Because those are two very different things.
Yeah.
Like you could be talking shit with your boys and having a good time, but like, does an audience give a fuck about that? The audience doesn't know who you are unless you're a headlining comedian. They don't know who you are. They don't care about you. You got to like convince them to laugh at you. So it's kind of stuff like that. And then, yeah, it's like just the word inspiration, you know, it like, I don't know. It's not that I don't feel inspired to write about things. It's just like, where do I find it? And then how do I extract the funny from it? And then if I have to like, because obviously a lot of what comedians talking about, they exaggerate or they leave details out just to make it funny.
Right.
Because my objective on stage isn't to be right. It's to be funny.
You're right.
Like you can say absolutely wild shit that obviously doesn't make any sense at all. Like I used to have a bit a while back. And I still like I crack at it every now and again, try to write it and try to figure out what makes it work. But I used to have a bit about like did you go to church as a kid?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever go to lock-ins? Was that a thing at your church where they locked you into the church for overnight and like maybe do like a sleepover? Yeah, because that's a thing at a lot of churches. And so I had a joke about that, and then and it transitions like, what if like the Catholics clearly came up with that, locking a bunch of kids into a church, and then it turns into this whole thing because like there was a church in town. I don't know if they still do it, but like when I went there as a little kid, like they would do that at the church, but then like one night they did it at the Natural History Museum.
Okay.
And which is just strange because like that's just strange.
Yeah.
They clearly don't teach the Bible at the Natural History Museum.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, what if the Catholics locked all their kids in a Natural History Museum? And then I turned it into like the Scooby-Doo chase of like a bunch of horny priests chasing little boys around a fucking Natural History Museum. And then like, how do they Home Alone their way out of it? And it just became insane. And it got some laughs, but every now and again I'll look at that like, how do I drive what's so ridiculous about that situation? It's so cartoonishly big. Like it was like a 5 or 6 minute bit just on that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, if I'm going to do that, I need at least 15 minutes so I can pad things around it to like, hopefully this doesn't bomb. And yeah, so
to build it up.
Yeah. It's like building, like making a set like that is like building a Lego set. You know what I mean? Okay. It's like, how do all the pieces fit? Does it make sense? Does it look good when you're done? That kind of thing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. Next question. What's your writing process like? Do you sit down and grind it out, or do the jokes just come to you?
Yeah, I do. Like like on my phone, I have on my notes page, I have just a giant thing of stand up.
Oh shit.
Like notes that I have, or like that's mostly just like ideas, or like I'll be at a show and something will just come out. Like in the moment, like a new tag will come out. So like, and basically, if you don't know what that means, basically it's like, so jokes have a very basic format. It's setup, punch, tagline. So why'd the chicken cross the road to get to the other side to find his dead friend or whatever it is? I don't know. It's a bad joke, but like whatever it is at the end, that's the basic structure of a joke. And so like in the moment, maybe I'll come up with a new tag, or like one of my buddies. Like I have a joke right now about fat chicks and pro wrestling, and I did it. And then after the show, he had texted me and he was like, "Hey, you should add this to your joke." And I did it, and I actually did it last night, and it crushed.
Okay.
So it's like I'll add stuff like that there. But yeah, like for me personally, like I'll write on my computer a little bit, and then what I do to like test myself before a set is I will physically like hand write all of my material out so that I know it, like to test, like, do you know your own material? Like, so because I've been, the last couple of months I've noticed, like as I've been doing longer, like 15, now I'm doing 20-minute sets, I'll like have my phone like on the stool next to me. So like, just as an example, like last night, like that's what I had on my Like, I'm just doing that. So if I need notes, I'll like look at it. It's like little like subject lines.
Gotcha.
But you don't really want to do that. You know, you want to go up there and just know your set and just go through it. It makes it more natural. It makes you look more professional, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I will sit down and like write things out. And then right now what I'm really focused on is, now that I have 20 minutes, I'm not really writing a whole lot of, like, I'll write some new material, but like I really want to focus on the material that I have and making that as good as it possibly can get. And just doing it over and over and over and over, so that I know it's airtight. And then if there are things to add to it, I know where I can add it and stuff like that. So
okay, gotcha, man. Yeah, that's time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next question: have you ever told a joke that completely bombed, but you still loved it?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, like there's definitely some material that's for me, and it shouldn't be like that. I'm not good enough for that yet, but like I definitely, okay, so I have a huge, like, it's like 6 minutes now, but I have a joke or a whole like section of my act where it's about growing up in a Christian household, and a part of that, and like I really like it, but I haven't figured out how to write it properly, because it'll get some laughs sometimes, but it's a pretty tough subject. So a subsect of that bit is talking about suicide.
Okay.
Suicide within Christianity, and that's a tough thing to talk, especially today. Like it's like people are offing themselves left and right, so it's hard to get into that and get away with it. And then B, making it clever enough to where, like, because I think something that comedians run into a lot, whether they know it or not, is that your material makes sense to you because you wrote it. Okay. And then translating, you need to figure out a way to translate that to the audience and deliver that to the audience where it makes sense to them. And so, like, for me with that specific joke, like, I really enjoyed it, but like it's not a lot of people liked it.
Yeah.
Or like right now, like, and I've been doing it regularly at my shows too, like, because it requires a lot of selling. I have a joke about George Floyd.
Okay.
Towards the end of my bit or end of my set, and I've found a way to make it work and to make the audience buy into it before I even say it. Because if I just, like, I'm not going to say it, but like if I were just to say the joke, it's like, oh, fuck, that's just mean.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But then if I get them to buy into it first, it's just like earning their trust. If you earn their trust first and then you say it, they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you want to change it from that's fucked up to like, oh my God, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So oh yeah, I've definitely had, I used to have a joke, like when I had a big old beard, I had a joke about prison rape. And how, like, I would get raped in prison because they would use my beard as a focal point, or as a focal point while they're face fucking me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, again, rape is a tough thing to talk about. Now it's easier when it's you getting raped because you're not making fun of a rape victim. Damn, this episode's gonna get flagged. But but you know, it's stuff like that where it's like, I think it's funny, but then how do I translate that to other people? How do you sell that? How do you because even in the because people can forget subconsciously real quick that you're just telling jokes.
Yeah.
So when you get into some dark stuff like suicide, rape, whatever, you need to remind them that we're all here to have, like, through your body language, that we're here to have fun. These are just, I promise I have not been raped in prison. You know what I mean? Even if I have, it's funny. Like, so it's stuff like that. Like, I've definitely had some material where, like, I like it, but nobody does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting that you bring that up because, like, there is some people, and we'll kind of get into that later, but there's like the hecklers and stuff where people who are really fucking sensitive shouldn't be attending comedy shows, man.
See, and I disagree, actually. I think sensitive people should attend comedy shows. It's whether or not you have an open mind. And a lot of them don't, and it's fine. But I'm convinced that there is a comedian out there for everyone. You just got to find that person. Now, granted, if you only like the type of comedy that is clean, family friendly, that's fine. What the top selling comedian last year was Nate Bargatze. He made 80 or 82 million dollars last year. He is completely clean.
Okay.
He only does clean material. Jerry Seinfeld, one of the most popular, famous, best comedians on the planet, completely clean material. So there's a market for that. If you only like heavy, like left-leaning material, there are comedians for that. Trevor Noah, Chelsea Handler, like there are comedians for you there. If you only like hyper right-wing comedians, those exist too. Like and then there's I think most comedians fall in the middle, but there's a comic out there for everybody. But maybe just, do your research on who you're seeing first. Like if you, like, I'm just thinking about like who's coming into town soon. So like, if you don't like crowd work that is dirty, racially based, sex-based crowd work, don't go see David Lucas at Hyenas in a couple months. He's coming, right? Don't go see him. If you don't like right-wing material, don't go see Tyler Fisher. He's coming to Hyenas as well. I think they're both great comics, but that's maybe not your thing. But if you really like feminine, hyper-feminine, hyper-sexualized feministic material, go see I forget how to pronounce her names, like Yongling Summers at Casavas here in a couple months. Go see her. She's going to be your thing. So it's about looking into the comic. But if you go into like a local show, you also don't know who these people are, so keep an open mind. But no matter what comedy show you go to, you just have to go in with reminding yourself that these people are here to tell me jokes. And you can tell, like, it's rare, hyper rare that it'll ever happen at a comedy club, but like, there are some comedians in general, not just in Albuquerque, but just like, I think Albuquerque's pretty good about this, but like, in general, there are some racist comedians. Like, just like there's racist plumbers, or there's racist doctors, or there's racist electricians. You know what I mean? There are sexist comedians. There are whatever. And you can snuff that out in their material because you can tell when they're just like joking about it, if they're being real. It happens. That's a thing. But they don't get booked very much. Like, I mean, because being a bigot or being any kind of phobe will not get you far in most things in life. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, just go into it with an open mind, and if you find yourself being sensitive to something, it's probably out of ignorance. More than likely, it's either out of ignorance or it's out of extreme trauma that you've experienced in your own life. Okay. And there is a comedian that can pull you out of that. I promise you. I promise there is.
That's a good way to put it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's the question I told you was coming. How do you handle hecklers or tough crowds?
Yeah. So tough crowds, meaning like they're just not liking my material, I just barrel through it. Okay. Just get through it. If there are like moments where I can break out of my set and talk to the crowd, or because I'm not very good at crowd work personally, like that's not something that I spend a lot of time working on, because I just want to get good at the material first, and then I feel like crowd work will come later, and it has in sparing moments. But I'm not a big crowd work guy, so I just stick to my material, get through it. Like there was one set I did at Dry Heat where the whole premise of the show was that each table has a light, and if they don't like you, they turn their light off, and you have 10 minutes. And so like, I'm just like, I started out, the first minute and a half or so was fine, but then like 8 minutes in the middle there was just death. Like it was a TED talk. I was dying. Like I was just bombing my ass off, and everyone turned off their lights except for one table. And I was looking at the timer in the back, and I had like 45 seconds left, and I look at this table and I'm like, you're enjoying this? Like we all see what's going on. And then the crowd started laughing, and I was like, okay, there we go. And then I did my last bit and got the fuck out of there. So it's just, you just got to get through it. Like and it comes with time, and I'm still getting good at it, but you can't show weakness. Like you can't show that you're nervous. You can't show that you hate that you're bombing right now, like unless you can make it funny, obviously, but like, you can't show weakness, because that's blood in the water and they're sharks. Because the moment that they notice that you're not, because if they see lack of confidence, they see lack of professionalism, and they're like, all right, fuck this guy, and they just tune out, right? Yeah. So that's how you handle that. For me, you just got to barrel through it. But as far as hecklers go, I mean, hecklers tend to like kind of quiet themselves down eventually if you don't pay attention to them. Like, I definitely had a moment last year where I was only doing 5 minutes at this competition at Tractor Brewing downtown, and some fucking drunk guy in the back was heckling everybody. He decided to heckle me about 2 minutes into my set, and I just went in on him, and I was being a dick. Like, I was being an asshole, and nobody liked it. I liked it because fuck this guy.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right.
you're heckling my fucking friends. Now I'm going to go in on you. But I was just being a prick. And so by the time that I got done with him, there was only like, a minute left in my set. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to win this. I bombed, but I showed that guy what's up, I guess. But, so that's just silly. It's dealing with hecklers. It's like you either have the skill or you don't. And if you're at a comedy club and somebody's regularly heckling the crowd or heckling the comedian, the security will take them out.
Okay.
I mean, they're really big on that at the Mothership. Like, I've seen it happen. And like some other clubs are pretty decent at it. I know Hyenas is pretty good at it. Casada's not so much, to be honest. But I also haven't seen a lot of that at Casada's. But it's just it's a skill you have or you don't have, and it's just a matter of how do you turn this. Like, here's a great example. So last weekend I was at Turtle Mountain up in Rio Rancho, and this lady was in the back. She was hammered. She was having a good time, and this comedian before me, I just was a dick to her. Like went in on her. She shut up and almost started crying. Because she's drunk. Like, she's fucking hammered. And so the host goes up after him, does like 6 minutes trying to bring the room back. And then I go up, and I didn't make fun of her. I made fun of the host because he was wearing this super tight shirt, and he was making fun of something about my shirt. And so I made fun of him for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And that's how you make fun of somebody properly. Because all of you liked it. Because you don't make it about like, I think the way you make fun of somebody, like, there's a million ways to do it on stage, but if it's somebody that's like not a part of the show, or not somebody that's not on the stage with like a roast battle, you make fun of what they're doing. You don't make fun of them. Unless you can make fun of them and they're used to that. Like, there's comedians like Anthony Jeselnik that will just call somebody a retard.
Yeah.
Or call somebody a fag or whatever it is. And it's funny the way he does it. Like, I had somebody, where was this at? I had somebody heckle me, and then I asked the crowd if anybody brought their retard translator. I'm trying to remember where this was.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But that worked pretty well. But yeah, it's just, I mean, you either deal with it or you don't. I mean, it's not really a good answer to that I think. It's just like either you have the skill or you don't have it.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you change your oil? Well, I mean, you have to do it eventually, but either you know how to do it, you go find somebody who does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a fact of life kind of thing.
Yeah, it's funny because, I mean, I've never heckled before, man.
Good choice.
Yeah, it's like they're up there. It's an art, man. So I'm enjoying the show, but it's funny you say that because Buck D has called me up on stage a couple times.
Yeah, you keep wearing those fucking flip-flops, dude. You ask for it. So, you're sticking out your tootsies and you're in the front row and you're like, hey, look at my fucking toes. So, of course, he's going to say something.
Yeah, the front row. And I try to advise people, too, who go to comedy shows, like, if you're going to sit in the front fucking row, man, be ready to be picked on. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on the comic, too, because most comics won't fuck with you. Like, if they see you in the front row and they see you're having a good time, unless you're wearing something crazy like flip-flops, they're not going to say anything to you. Like, you'll have, like, a couple of I don't think it's hacky, but, like, you'll have some comics that, like, if they see a girl with like big tits in the front row, they're like, oh, nice tits, or some stupid like that. Like, that'll happen, but
yeah.
If they see you enjoying the show and you're clearly having a good time, they're probably not gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
They probably won't.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's a good time, man. Always. Last question on this section here. Do you feel like comedy is harder or easier now with all the content online?
I think, well, comedy's hard in general. Because again, like I said earlier, it's just you and the microphone, you got to figure it out. Like, it's hard either way. I would say comedy isn't necessarily easier or harder. It's the expectations of the audience, because the way a lot of audience members are digesting stand-up now is through Instagram and through TikTok, like videos. And most comedians, if you notice, they will post crowd work because crowd work, the algorithm loves it, so it'll pick it up. And crowd work is like, there are some, like, I have a little bit of it where it's like pre-planned crowd work where, like, I say something, I know someone's probably going to say one of these things and I can respond to it this way. Like, you have that and you make it look natural. But a lot of these crowd work moments are in the moment. You don't plan for them. And if they go well, it's like, okay, as a comic, I can post this on my social media, and especially like if you're like a touring comedian, or like a regular at a club or whatever. Yeah, you're good. As a comedian, you can post your material from these crowd work moments, and you're not going to burn you post the crowd work moments, and you're not going to burn your material. Like, you're not going to like post a joke and then somebody's going to see it and be like, oh, I already saw this. It's not that funny anymore. So you don't have, you don't have like that factor anymore. You're just posting something. So you're advertising yourself. You're feeding the algorithm, getting more eyeballs on your page without burning your actual material that you've pre-planned, that you've written. And so because of that's what a lot of people are digesting, they expect a lot of crowd work, typically, especially local shows. They tend to expect more crowd work. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. I kind of half agree with this. Like, I know a lot of my comedian friends, they, of all levels, they don't like the idea of these TikTok comedians, like these guys that make sketches or make like little shorts on TikTok, and then they get really big, and they get a manager, and the manager's like, well, you need to start doing stand-up because there's a lot of money in touring, there's a lot of money in these clubs. Like, you don't really start making a lot of money in stand-up until you start being the headliner, and you're like going to club, making thousands and thousands of dollars. And obviously the tour managers want that because they want more money.
Right.
So then now you have these fucking TikTok guys going around doing stand-up that aren't good at stand-up because they're not comedians. Like, they're not, they're sketch comics.
Yeah.
And sketch comedy is tough. It's acting, it's comedic timing, it's writing. It's a hard thing to do. But then you try to take that personality and you put it on stage. Like, they had a guy come through a couple weeks ago. I'm not going to say where, I'm not going to say who, but apparently he just ate a dick for his whole 45 minutes, and it was just bad and uncomfortable for everybody. So, I mean, that's probably the damage that it's been on comedy. But then at the same time, I don't know if there's still people showing up to the clubs to go see them. That's why they're getting booked, because they have these millions and millions of followers. And I think like last year to the year before, stand-up comedy ticket sales were up 380% or some shit like that. 318%, one of those numbers. So it's like, I don't know, more people are enjoying stand-up. Like, that is a positive. But yeah, if you're gonna go see a TikTok comedian, maybe they're great. Like Trevor Wallace, he started out on TikTok. From what I've understood, he's actually pretty decent on stage. Like, he can actually do it, and that's all fine and dandy. Another good example is Polar Bear, John Polar Bear Gonzalez. He's pretty good on stage. He started out on TikTok. I think he had some stand-up background, but like, he got big off TikTok. You know, it happens. But I think the real change, I guess, is that like a lot of audiences do expect crowd work these days. Yeah, which is fine. Like, they have every right to do that, but you just either get good at crowd work or get good at your material so they don't want the crowd work, or just be a fucking better comedian, dude. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. I think the crowd work makes some of the people feel a little more involved and appreciated. I guess that's what it is, man. Okay, cool, man. Great answers for that section here. Next, we're going into personal life and philosophy. I got 3 questions for you on this.
What comedians specialize in? Philosophy. Hit me. Let's go.
All right, cool. First one is, how do you deal with creative burnout?
Do you just fucking, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't have a good answer to this, just because like all right, you get burnt out. Deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, you only have so much time, and you only have so much, like, you have what you have, right? You have the resources, whatever they are. You have the time in the day, and then you have your ability.
Okay.
Deal with it. Yeah. You know, like, just fucking deal with it. Like, I don't know. Like, I know there's like as far as like okay, so like, I have a 9-to-5. Like, I have a regular job that I go to 40 to 50 hours a week, and then I do podcasting, and then I do stand-up. Okay, now that is tough. But it's also my choice. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's asking me to fucking do stand-up. I promise you, nobody's asking me to do stand-up. I promise you, nobody's asking me to do it. Nobody's asking me to do the podcast. Nobody. There is no great demand for the creative abilities of Noah Vargas. Nobody's asking for that. I am saying that I am delusional enough to believe that I am good enough for people to not only pay attention to me, but support me enough to go buy tickets and come see me at a show and blah, 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 right? I'm saying that. Yeah. Now, my job is to go out there and justify that. Put out good content. Put out good content.
put on a good show. Now that I'm producing shows and running shows, put on a good show. That's my job. My job is to justify why I should have an audience, why I should have a following, right? And through that, it's going to take a lot of long nights. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of painstaking, stupid, like we were talking earlier about like setting up the podcast and shit, right? Now I've gotten to a point where like up until like a year ago, maybe a year and a half, I don't know. If I was doing the podcast, I would spend anywhere between 3 to 10 hours a week editing. Just sitting in front of my fucking computer, lining up the audio, lining up the video, and doing, okay, I'm talking here, cut. He's talking here, cut. And you know what? And I mean, to do my podcast, I like going for a long time. I like doing 1 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
Generally, I enjoy doing that. And so I remember back, like up until then, I was just like, if we're getting up to the 2.5, 3, 4 hours, I was just like, this is going to be a bitch to edit.
Yeah.
Oh no. But now I'm at the point where I'm just like, I'm going to spend $30 a month for an AI program to edit my shit for me. I'm going to spend another $30 to $40 a month for an AI program to get all my clips for me. You know what I mean? Because now I'm just like, I don't have enough time to do that, but is it still going to create a good product? And I need to allocate my time elsewhere, and especially now I'm doing stand-up. Outsource that shit. But anyway, so it's going to require a lot of time either way. But with creative burnout, I mean, deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I mean, I don't have a great, like, should you take time for yourself? Yes. Like I love reading real books. I love reading comic books. I love playing video games. I like going to the gym. I spend time with my girl. Like, you know, I do, and I try to allocate as much time as I can to that relationship, because Lord knows that's a challenge too. But I mean, it just is. But like, you do a lot. Like, I mean, you're doing the podcast now. You're doing jujitsu. You have a full-time job. You have a family. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Mm. So you have to figure out how to do time management. And thankfully, I learned that at an early age. But so take time for yourself. Sure, like you don't, like you still want to enjoy life, but you should also enjoy what you're doing. You shouldn't just be doing a podcast because everyone has a podcast. You know, there's certainly no fucking money in it.
Yeah.
I get money from a sponsor, but it's not a lot. I love the money that I get from a sponsor. Please don't drop me. But I love the money that I get, but I'm not making thousands of dollars a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a full-time job, but it's not paying my bills.
Yeah.
All the money that I get from my podcast, it goes back into the podcast.
Right.
I'm in the red, and I will continue to be in the red for years.
Okay.
But that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as burnout goes, just fucking get over it, dude. Either just like accept the fact that the thing that you love is going to be this kind of burden. If the thing that you love is something that you want to make money out of, then accept the fact that you're going to be in the red for a certain amount of time until you pull yourself out of the red, even if you do. Most people don't make it.
Yeah.
Like real shit. Like most people with the podcast are not going to do it full time. You're not going to be Joe Rogan. Like it's not going to be a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Right? And then most people that go into stand-up comedy are not going to be full-time comedians where they're making enough to do it on the road forever and ever. Amen.
Yeah.
Because even if you do make enough money to sustain yourself right now, there's no retirement, there's no 401k, there's no healthcare, there's no benefits. It's you and the road and these clubs.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why you have so many people in entertainment that like they get all this money, and assuming they make it out of taxes, and they do their taxes properly, they're spending all that money on these flashy things and also some extracurriculars that end up fucking ruining their lives.
Yeah.
So anyway, accept the fact that if you want to make money out of it, you're going to be in the red for a while, and it's going to take up a lot of time out of things you wish you were doing instead that probably aren't benefiting your life anyway. Obviously not like relationships and families, but like just like leisure things that you enjoy doing. You're not going to have time for that anymore. But that's the name of the game. Or if you're going into something just as a creative passion and you're not going to try to make money out of it, then you need to, this is just a hard reality in my opinion, so you don't run into it, because burnout's a real thing. You need to scale it back to where it's not interfering as much as you possibly can with your personal life and with your other interests. Because if this is not something that you plan on making money out of doing, then why are you taking time away from your family to do it? Uh-huh. Why are you taking time from your fitness away? Why are you taking time away from your actual job that is going to be paying your bills? Scale it back to where it's just like a little fun thing you do on the side, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like genuinely, there is absolutely nothing. Like I'm right now, because it's not working, like because it's not, I would say not working, because it's not making me money to where I sustain myself full time. I am on the wrong side of this equation, right? I am on the side of delusion still. The delusion is not paid off yet, but I have faith that it's going to eventually, one day. I have faith that it's going to. And so if you're not going to be sustaining yourself off of it, then you need to level it out or sub-level it in comparison to everything else in your life so it doesn't ruin other parts of your life.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, man.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people today, no matter what profession you take or pick, I think a lot of people nowadays are expecting a quick turnaround, man.
Yeah, and I mean, and look, like, it happens. I mean, it does happen where, like, people get big off TikTok overnight and whatever, and that's great, but it's probably not going to be you. But that shouldn't stop you from trying.
Right.
It shouldn't stop you from trying, but, like, with everything, I was saying a little bit earlier with people's attention spans, like, you know, instant gratification, while you should welcome it, you shouldn't expect it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and that's my like philosophy or like my mindset, I guess, with stand up. It's like I've gotten a lot of opportunities early. I'm still early on in doing this, but I've gotten a lot of opportunities that I shouldn't have gotten. Like flat the fuck out. Like I shouldn't have done dry heat as early as I did. I shouldn't have done casadas. I like fucking Creek in the Cave and Velveeta and fucking Rogan's Club.
Yeah, man.
The fuck am I doing there? You know, but I still got that opportunity. So then now it's incumbent, like I was saying earlier, it's incumbent upon me to be prepared enough in the moment to do the best that I can. And it's a zero sum game. You either win or you don't.
Yeah.
And thankfully, all those opportunities I've done very well. So I'm very. That's why I work so hard, because I know that I've put myself in a position where I have these connections, and like Rogan's Club was a luck thing. Literally, I got picked out of me and the 15 other people got picked out of 200, just happenstance, lottery. I had nothing I could have done. There's nothing that I could have done to do that. Okay. Right? That's purely like, all right, do you have it? Do you have this opportunity? Do you have it? Do you have it? Do you not? Right? But then, now that I'm making these other connections in Austin, like I'm going to Denver here in a couple weeks, hoping to make some connections out there. Now it's like, okay, when I have these other opportunities that I more or less can control when I go out to these places, do I feel like I'm ready for it? Can I tackle this? And I'm at the point right now where I feel like I can, but I'm not playing theaters anytime soon. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking like a regular at a club anytime soon. But yeah, social burnout, fucking get over it, dude.
That's a great fucking answer, man. Just go through with it, man.
Yeah, just get over it.
Next question is, have your comedic views or style evolved over time?
Yes. Thank God. Thank God it has. Yeah. Yeah, because I've understood. I mean, it's going to take a few more years. The general wisdom is that it takes about 10 years to get really good at it. Okay. Because the thing with stand-up is like, you know, you're only doing it for minutes a week. Like if you practice at your house, if you're writing, whatever, that's all the back end of it. But you're only really doing stand-up. Like the most stand-up I've ever done was last week, because I did 5 minutes at the Block, I did 20 minutes at Vernon's, and then I did 20 minutes at Turtle Mountain. So that's 45 minutes in a week. For 2 years in, that's really good. Especially in a city where there's not a lot of comedy. Like you go out to a place like Austin, and there's just fucking stand-up everywhere. There's open mics everywhere. There's shows to be at. There's my knees are fucked up. You know, there's all of this opportunity to do stand-up, but in a place like Albuquerque, you don't have a lot of it's not a lot of stage time. There's maybe one open mic a night if you're lucky. There's maybe 1 or 2 shows a week that you can get on. That's including mine. Yeah. So, you know, you don't have a whole lot of time to do it. So whenever you do get the time to do it, you need to get the most out of it. And so I have really figured out the best way to extract the most productive essence that I can out of those minutes at a time. And so when you ask like about how I've evolved as a comedian, I'm really learning, and the road helped me out a lot with this. Like there's this thing about going out and doing stand-up in front of people that don't know who you are, that don't give a shit about who you are in another state. You're seeing if your funny travels. And then it's how do you, and there's like, for me, there's like a bigger incumbent like thing, like, oh, you gotta like really, you gotta perform. You're not just talking to these people, you need to perform. And so that really, like going on the road to like Plano and to Austin, really gave me an opportunity to perform and to like pull something out of me that I didn't know was there. And then bring that back to Albuquerque, and then I've been doing a lot better in Albuquerque. Like the road really does help you if you take advantage. And so that my performance has really evolved, and then in doing that, my writing is really involved, and that's also just because I've been writing a lot. And then what's really helped me out a lot too is I film every set that I do, and then I'll watch the film back and see how, like, do I look like. A big problem I had up until like maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, was I wasn't looking like I was having fun on stage. And again, that really changed in Austin because I was like so excited to fucking be there.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot better. And so it's like I'm showing the audience that I'm having fun. I'm doing that a lot better. I am, I'm displaying emotion a lot better. And then just taking that into my writing and how do you apply that there? How do you elevate your material through your body language? So all of that's really helped out a lot.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I like hearing all that from an inside perspective.
Yeah.
Last question on this section here is, do you think comedy still has a responsibility in the current social climate?
Responsibility for what? I mean, we're just here to make you laugh. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, you certainly have some comedians like Chappelle or like the late George Carlin. Like, they'll make you think about some things, and that's all fine and dandy. I mean, that's amazing that they have the ability or had and have the ability to do that. But the comedian, their responsibility is to make you laugh, is to entertain you. Now, how do I put this? Like, okay, so I think going into any venture with the objective of I want to be remembered for something great, I think is kind of stupid and it's kind of foolish, because if you're going into that with that mindset, you'll definitely come off as a tryhard and a wannabe.
Yeah.
Like in a bad way.
Yeah.
I think the people that are remembered for doing their craft, they are remembered because of how authentic they were to themselves.
Right.
How authentic they were to the craft, how much they respected their craft, and how much they loved it. Like, maybe Christopher Nolan and Tarantino and Spielberg, maybe they went into movies saying that I'm going to be one of the best of all time. Maybe they did. Like, I mean, you have dudes like Muhammad Ali who did that, Tyson, you definitely have that. And maybe they did think that. But at the end of the day, they loved what they were doing. Like, they genuinely found the love for the game, and they did their absolute best to not only perform, but understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think your responsibility as a comedian is to do the best that you can to make people laugh. And if you can also make them think, and if you can also make them understand different viewpoints of the world, I think that's a huge added bonus. But your only real responsibility is to make people laugh. And it's really to make them have a good time and to, again, justify why they came out to see your thing. Just like, I mean, that's why I think Tom Cruise is such a good actor and why he loves making movies so much, is because he's a moviegoer himself. You know, he wants the audience to be entertained as much as humanly possible. And he's said it multiple times how he understands the financial burden of going to the movies these days. Mm-hmm. So he's like, if they're going to go see my movie, they're going to fucking love it.
Yeah.
There is no ifs, ands, or buts. They are going to be entertained. And so, like, there's a really good quote, like, it talked about, like, social responsibility. There's a quote from Anthony Jeselnik that I like a lot, where he says, comedy can talk about everything, but comedians cannot. The art form of comedy can tackle every subject, every single subject. Now, whether or not that specific comedian that wants to take on the subject can tackle it is up to them, completely up to them. Like, and that's really their, like, do they have the skill set to talk about any, like, whether it's the lighter subject, like dating or sex or your day job or driving or airplane peanuts and whatever, or if it's the harder stuff that we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. Either you have it or you don't at that moment. Doesn't mean you can't have it later, but either you have it or you don't. I mean, I think, like, I think you have a responsibility as a comedian to understand your skill set. Like if your skill set takes you up to here, push yourself to like right there and then see how far you can go, I guess. But yeah, like if you know nothing about like if you're gonna go on stage and talk about the war that we just got into with Iran, or if you're gonna talk about the prison system in America, or if you're gonna talk about feminism and you know nothing about it, you just want to try to make it funny, it might work out for you, or you just look like a dumbass.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a responsibility that you have, but really the bottom line is make them laugh. No matter what you're saying, well, don't steal jokes, first of all. Don't fucking steal material. That's not yours. Don't steal jokes. But make them laugh. That's your only responsibility as a comedian, in my opinion. Gotcha. If you're not doing that, then it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Okay. Cool, man. I like those answers, dude. Next section is, these are just rapid fire questions, sure. Man. I can't wait to hear these two. The first one is that, what's the worst set you've ever had?
Definitely that one I was talking about, where it was like the 10 minutes with the lights turning off. That was pretty bad. And then there's just been like just like a lot of bombings that I've done at Dry Heat that didn't go very well, or I haven't had like aside from that one with the lights, like I haven't had one that was just like drastically like, oh my God, why am I doing this, that I can remember. But probably that one.
Okay, the Dry Heat. That's an interesting like concept, man, is like turning off your light.
Yeah, so probably that one.
Okay. Next one is, if you weren't doing comedy or podcasting, what would you be doing?
Helldivers 2, more than likely. I don't know, man. I really don't know, because like maybe I'd be back in school doing film stuff. I'm not too sure. I don't really like school that much, so probably not. I wouldn't be in the military, that's for fucking sure. Either way, I still wouldn't be in the military. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably just be like hanging out. I don't know, dude. Like I think everybody needs like a passion that they love, you know, like a thing to do and a thing to work on. And for a lot of people, that's fitness, and that's like, I certainly care about my fitness. I've been real lazy about it recently, but like I try to go to the gym like 2 or 3 times a week. But like I don't know, because it wouldn't be. I tried bodybuilding and I loved prep more than I did being on stage, and I don't want to get on a bunch of steroids. I want to get back on test because I miss being on test, and I also just like biologically need it because I have low testosterone. Yeah. But I mean, it wouldn't be bodybuilding. I don't know, dude. I think I'd just be hanging out. I'd just be like a guy. Not that I'm not right now, but like I'm a guy trying stand up and trying podcasting. But I'd just be a dude, I guess, which I'm not like really cool with. So okay, I'd just be like hanging out. Okay, yeah, I'd just be a guy. Yeah,
simple enough, man.
Yeah.
What is a favorite weird fact or useless talent about yourself?
Stand-up comedy. Well, because like I was having this conversation with my chick. Like we were talking about the end of the world. Holy shit! And I was like, you know, I don't know. I remember what I said. We were just talking shit, and she was like, she's like, you'll survive. You'll be in the king's court as the jester. And I'm like, oh, thanks, you fucking asshole. But comedy has no real like practical world use. You know what I mean? You stick me out in the woods, I'm not gonna tell jokes to a bear and it's gonna die. You know what I mean? But holy shit. But what I will say is, like, you know, what I do, I guess the biggest life practicality that podcasting and stand-up has brought to me is I'm able to, like, I've always been good at spoken word for the most part. I've always been good at talking to people. I've been very introverted, but like I've always been good at explaining things. Like I've been very good at articulating my point of view, and yeah, like I've just been very good at articulating my points of view and articulating why I feel a certain thing about a subject or why something is happening. And it's something that I learned a lot at military school. And then like being put in charge of people, I've been really good at like personnel management and stuff like that. And like just like directing and explaining things to people. Mm-hmm. And then explaining my own viewpoint. And I think podcasting has really allowed me to do that in a long form, and it's helped me really sharpen that. And then it's really fell back into my love of reading, and reading has really fueled that, and it's become this like this circle where it's like, as long as I keep doing these things and keeping the knife sharp, you know, that's because it's a very perishable skill. Like you talk about that a lot in the military, right? Like shooting, weapons maintenance, land nav, all these things are very, like, if you gave me a compass and a fucking map right now, I'd survive, but it would just take me a few hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, they're very perishable skills, and I think that those soft skills in life, like how you interact with people, how do you speak to certain, because you can't speak to everyone the same way. So some people might call it code switching, but like being able to speak to all different kinds of people and interact with them in positive ways is a really important life skill that I don't think a lot of people have. And I think that the more people you're able to reach and the more people you're able to interact with, the better your life is going to be, because you'll be, not just for like personal gain where it's like, oh, you can like maybe interview for a job really well, or you can make proposals. Like if your day job involves you making proposals, or involves you like negotiating with people or arguing with people, like that'll help. But it's also just like being able to connect and meet people and do stuff like that and just have those good interactions. Maybe that, but yeah, I mean, nobody needs a new podcaster. There are enough of them. I promise you, there are enough of them, and I'm one of them. Like, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
There's more comedians now than there's ever been, and I think it's a good thing. Like, laughter is a good thing, and entertaining people is a good thing. But like, we need plumbers, dog. There's a barber shortage apparently right now.
Shit.
We need barbers. We need electricians. We need fucking truck drivers. Like, well, maybe not anymore with these fucking automated things coming in, but like we need like men, and we have entertainers. And I was watching Tim Dillon, and he made a good point how like a bunch of people are like getting into arts, or like a lot of girls are getting into OnlyFans and stuff like that. And he's like, what, is that the American GDP? Just talking to a microphone or masturbating on the internet? Like we can't just be that. Like, we're going to fall apart. So
yeah, man, it's the world of technology and social media now, dude. It's crazy, bro. All right. I can't wait to hear this answer here, man. Who's your comedic Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, I like that question. Oh yeah, these Jocko Goes are pretty good.
They are fucking good.
Because you brought the black cherry one to my studio last time, and so which one is this? This is the blue raspberry.
Yeah, blue raspberry.
Ooh, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's I've tasted that somewhere else too, like another drink. It tastes like, it tastes like a fucking Jolly Rancher, but there's another one that I've had. That's really good. Okay, so Dave Chappelle's my goat for sure. My goat. So Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, Louis C.K., Anthony Jeselnik. But what's interesting is, like, I like to caveat that and say there's a lot of comedians that I really love right now that are big, but like if they keep this up 15, 20 years from now, my lineup is probably going to change, because like I love what Sam Talent is doing right now. I love that guy. I love what Adam Ray is doing right now. Not just his characters, but like his actual stand-up is really good. I love, everybody loves what Shane Gillis is doing right now. He's fucking fun. He just like, he's probably like him and like Theo Vaughn, Sam Talent, a little bit of Schultz. But like, he's like the best at just being funny. Like, he's just a funny guy. Like, you can tell he's the funniest dude at the house party, but he just got mega famous and super, so like, I love what Shane Gillis is doing. I love what Theo's doing. Andrew Schultz, like his last special was really good. Life, that's really good. But like, Infamous is one of my favorite specials of all time. I fucking love that special. I'm trying to think of like the guys that are working right now that are really good. There's some that I'm just completely losing their names. But and then like in the local scene, like we just have these monsters here, like fucking Buck D, dude. That guy's incredible. And that's why he's getting his own night at Casados. Fucking Kurt Fletcher, amazing comedian. Josh Fournier, amazing comedian. Trip Stelnicki, there's there's so many comedians that are coming up in Albuquerque right now that are like, if you stay at this and luck goes your way, you're going to be huge. Like, it's going to happen. You just can't, please don't quit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And like, honestly, dude, like, something fucking changed for me and AJ over in Austin, and we've just been killing it since. Like, we've been doing really well. And so it's like moments like that where I'm like, all right, we got to keep fucking going. But yeah, Mount Rushmore, fucking Chappelle, Bill Burr, Louis C.K., Anthony Jeselnik, and the other guys I mentioned too that are just like really fucking killing it right now.
That's
really
cool,
killing it. And honestly, dude, I love Matt Rife. I think Matt Rife's fucking hilarious. That dude's great. Yeah. So
he needs to come over here too, man.
yeah.
All right, cool. Now we're gonna jump into the podcasting life for you, man. What's been the biggest surprise about hosting a podcast?
How open I can be to people, I think, because like going into the podcast, I really wanted to do with my friends, people that I knew, and just talk shit like that. And then, but as I started getting into it, like maybe by like episode 7, I was like, oh, I want to talk to like everybody now. Like, I want to get better at it, but I want to like talk to everybody, like in the interests that, like, mainly the interests that I have. But then at the same time, you know, I found myself in a position where like I feel like I've gotten proficient enough at podcasting where if I find somebody that really loves fucking woodworking, I don't know shit about woodworking, but like if they love woodworking or if they love like bow hunting, like my buddies love bow hunting, we had a good conversation about that a while back. Or if they like we're doing that jiu-jitsu episode here in a couple weeks, or I don't know shit about jiu-jitsu, but I'm interested to learn, you know, that kind of thing. Like I didn't know how curious I was about the world around me outside of my own interests, and learning that side of me has been like, oh, okay, this is actually a lot of fun. I enjoy doing this. I'm going to keep doing it. So probably that for sure.
Okay. Yeah. And I like how you keep like an open mind about everything, dude. Like over the course of your episodes and stuff. Like I like how you keep an open mind, but you also express your own opinions on some subjects too, man. So that's very cool. I like that about you, man. Next question is: have you ever had a guest completely throw you off, whether it's a good or bad way?
Oh yeah, like really early on, I had this girl on, and I forget what we were talking about, but then she just like openly goes, and yeah, as a Satanist, I just really believe. I was like, whoa, you what now? And then like I had that. I had an episode that I haven't put this out yet. I haven't really told anybody about this. I have told like a couple of people, but like in passing. But I had an episode that I did a couple weeks ago. There's a girl named Kim, real nice girl, met through mutual friends, and turns out she's like really good friends with Zack Snyder.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? And then like I told her like I straight up told her, I was like, you're a liar. Like before we even started the podcast, because she walks into my studio. And she's like my Batman vs Superman poster, the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and she's like the Ben Affleck Batman, and she goes, "Oh, you're a Zack Snyder fan?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's the fucking shit." And I like a 300 poster, and she goes, "Yeah, he's my friend." And I'm like, "No, the fuck, you're a fucking liar." No, he's not. And she pulls out her phone and shows me his phone number, and like texts him during the podcast.
That's fucking cool.
And then I'm gonna post this on my social media when the episode comes out. I think I have a picture of it. Let me see. But she gave me, So he came up with this movie. I wasn't a fan of it, and I don't think a lot of people were. But he came out with that movie Rebel Moon on Netflix. And so she gave me this. So it's a portrait book of all the portraits he shot at Rebel Moon.
Oh, shit.
Signed by him.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, bro. So that's in the studio now. That threw me off like crazy. So I was like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I mean, things that threw me. I think it's like it's off the top of my head. Those are some of them. I mean, there's been some like fun stories or whatever, but like nothing that I really wasn't entirely. Like, it's kind of rare to surprise me these days. Like obviously that's gonna be like what the fuck, but guests that have like I don't know like. I think the thing about the podcast that surprised me, that threw me off the most, is I think myself and like how more open to the world I've become, and then how my views have changed by learning other people's perspectives and just like honestly just reading a lot more and researching a lot more. Okay, that's kind of thrown me off. Where I'm like for instance, when the whole like Israel Gaza thing first started, I had a worldview on it that I look back on now, and I'm like, you're a fucking moron. Why are you saying that on camera? Like, you are so wrong about this. Like you like. like categorically I was so wrong about that conflict. And then now that I've been reading a lot more and learning a lot more about the history of it and why things are happening and what's going on, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, you took one guy's perspective that you heard and you thought that was right because it sounded correct and was passionate enough, and you just ran with it.
Yeah.
And then that was like maybe, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And now I'm just like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Like that stands out to me as like, dude, you're a fucking moron. So like my own evolving worldview for sure.
So it's just kind of being uneducated and just kind of being biased.
Not even biased, just ignorant. Just like really just really ignorant to the surrounding context of like what happens in the world and just my own like evolving worldview and just learning from people that know what the fuck they're talking about, not just like extremely biased individuals and then taking that bias and making it my own. And
Okay. Yeah. All right, man. All right. Last one on the podcasting section. What do you wish more people understood about podcasting behind the scenes?
That it's a fucking full-time job and that it costs a lot of money. I'm very blessed. I say this as much as I can because it's the truth. I'm very blessed to have the not even just the ability to do a podcast and the spare time to do a podcast and the spare room to do a podcast in, because I started out in a garage too, like straight the fuck up. Like I was telling you were telling me like, oh, I hope this turns out good. Like, dude, you literally have a better setup than I. Like, when I first started out, I spent $200 and I had a really decent little audio mixer, but I had these like 2 cheap little microphones and these 2 cheap little $25 cameras that do nothing for you, that literally came in I got them off eBay, and they came in a little white box that just said video camera out of the back of some fucking Chinese warehouse or some shit, dude. And but again, I've gotten very, very blessed, and I've been able to have like really good tech to do the podcast with and the time to do it. But just that, it costs a lot of money, and to be able to do it at the level like of production that I'm doing it, there's a lot of luck too. It took people believing in what I had. And believing in me as someone that will do this for a long time and be able to make money out of it. So there's that. And I think that people need to understand that like podcasting podcasting isn't just one thing. Like if there are podcasts where it's like just about a certain subject or a certain format or a certain topic. And so obviously they're going to be more knowledgeable about the thing, but like my podcast is very open forum, open discussion. The subjects vary depending on the person that I have on, or like, so like I'm going to start doing a weekly thing late night Saturdays at like 11:30, 12 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, where I'm just like, I'll go live and just talk about things that I want to talk about, whatever's on my mind. And just because like honestly, a big reason why I want to do it is because that helps the algorithm and get my pod out there more. But I also I enjoy doing that. When I first started out doing it, I did one solo episode and I fucking hated it. I'm like, this is horrible. I'm never doing this again. But I've learned as I've gotten into it more, I learned to enjoy that. Okay. But just like, if you're mad at some things, I've had this recently. Like, if you're mad about something that I'm saying on my podcast, first of all, fuck off. Like I shouldn't be your go-to stop for all things information. Yeah. Now, what I will say is like, I don't. It's like that Jordan Peterson quote back when he was still worth something. He said he goes, do your best to tell the truth, but don't lie. You can choose to not lie. You know what I mean? Or you can choose to lie. You can choose both of those things, but you can only tell the truth to the best of your ability. And that's kind of my mindset going into podcasting, is like, I'm just going to tell you what I think I know and what my viewpoint on the world is. And I'm happy to be proven wrong. But just to say that I'm a fucking idiot, or that I'm like this fucking dumbass that I had in my comment section, who was actually a guest on the podcast, was a failed mayoral candidate. She went in my comment section and was like, podcasts aren't for cocktails, they're for considerate or whatever. I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm literally shooting this at 11:45 at night, ended at 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, I'm gonna have a drink. Fuck off. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't take it as seriously like that. But then at the same time, like, I'm probably right about most of the things I'm talking about, and if I'm not, please show me where I'm wrong. Like, don't take it that seriously.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, don't take it like super duper seriously, unless I have somebody on who's like, because I do my best to, like, if I'm doing it by myself, I do my best to like show my sources or show the video that I'm watching or whatever. Or if I have somebody on who's talking about something, they tend to be the expert on that, and I'm just asking questions. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, it's like take it. I mean, we're not like, we need to stop treating each other like we're either like babies or these super geniuses. Like, we have intuition. Take it as seriously as you probably should.
Yeah.
I would say about podcasts. Like, take it as, like, look at the production level, look at the guy who's doing it, and take it as seriously as you probably should.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good response, man.
Yeah.
It's a good way to, like that goes back to me saying earlier, man. I like how you're open-minded and you like to express your opinion on shit like that. So good, man. All right, cool. Last section, last 3 questions, man. And it's just like looking ahead to your future. Any big dreams for your comedy or podcasting career that you haven't hit yet?
All of them. For real, fucking all of them. Like I've had goals that I've attained for sure, like playing at comedy clubs, going on the road, doing Rogan's. Now I want to do Rogan's Club in a real capacity, like not just a sign up lottery open mic. Like I want to do Rogan's Club like at like a show.
Yeah.
But that's not going to come for years, because you have to, like, that is the most posh exclusive club in the world. Mm-hmm. Like, just in the way that it's set up, and it is the hardest club to get into and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's definitely that. But like, I just want to get to a point where, like, because eventually, like, I'm going to visit Denver here in a couple weeks, like I said, and I'm going to keep going back there as much as I can. And I'm not going to move to Arizona, but I know that, like, the stand-up scene in, like, Phoenix and Tempe's really big. I do want to go visit New York, because, like, that's still, like, a huge place for comedy. I'm never going to move there, but I do want to, like, visit it.
Yeah.
But Austin is probably going to be the city that I move to. Just because, like, the 2 times that I've been there, I just adore it. Like, I really do love that city, and I love that, like, on 6th Street, there's like 5 or 6 comedy clubs, and then like 3 or 4 more bars that are known for stand-up, and you know, that's just, and all the comedians that have moved there, I feel like my style of stand-up and my sensibilities really align with that scene. Okay. So I feel like I would do really well there, and everyone that I've met, I've got along with really well. But like, you know, goals for stand-up, like, I want to have a really good 20 minutes. I want to build my following to where I can justify moving to a city like Austin and do well and get booked on shows and really flourish as much as I can as like a mid-level comedian there, you know. Okay. That's the years on the line though. And then for podcasting, just again, like, take that on the road as much as I can. I still don't think I've done everything that I can in Albuquerque with the podcast. So like, I want to like have more people on, have more subject matter experts in Albuquerque on certain subjects that I enjoy. And then just continuously grow that following and figure out just how to get more and more like subscribers and listeners on a regular basis. And, just really just like grow everything as much as I can. Like, I know it's a very intangible kind of goal, but like, just continuously see growth year over year, which I am seeing, thankfully, but just continue to have that. And then, again, with the stand-up, have shows in Albuquerque that are flourishing, that have a regular audience of, like, my goal for the rooms that I'm doing, I would love to have 30 to 50 people per show, which would be great. It's a hard thing to do, and that's going to take a long time, but continuously learning how to do that, learning how to advertise, learning how to like I'm building like a mailing list and doing all that kind of thing. So
okay, yeah. The next question: what do you hope to take away from your comedy or your podcast in life?
Kind of everything that I've already said, like expanding my worldviews, expanding my way of evolving, my way of thinking, evolving my way of digesting the world, and then turn it into a career. Like, that is the end goal, I guess, is to turn all of this into a career to where I can sustain myself and eventually a family off of podcasting and stand-up. It's a very lofty goal. It's a very out there goal, but like, I want to move away from needing a 9-to-5 and then build a company, build a media company, build an apparatus around me that is ran by as little people as humanly possible, that I can sustain myself doing my thing.
Okay.
And then if, I would love to be able to like, again, like get into the film industry with like, again, I would love to write. I would love to like direct eventually, or just like get into that somehow. But like, if that doesn't work out, I'm not going to fucking lose sleep over it. I really do. I love stand up right now more than I ever thought that I could. So that's the goal for sure.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All right. And here's our last question, bro. Who's your dream podcast guest and why?
Well, there's definitely some people that are like, because they're not my dream guests, but they're just like on like a goal. Like I'm trying to work on like Mayor Keller to get him in there. And I'm working on a couple stuff like that. But like I would love to sit down with, like, I mean, like from like nerdy, like fanboy kind of thing. Like I'd love to sit down with guys like I'd love to sit down with like Zack Snyder. I'd love to sit down with James Gunn. I'd love to sit down with like Robert Kirkman or Scott Snyder. He's a comic book writer. Or I would love to sit down with Todd McFarlane. He's kind of a little batshit insane, but I'd love to sit down with him. I'd love to do an interview with like Alan Moore or Frank Miller, because those guys are kind of insane, but I kind of want to see how their brain works at this time in their life.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And then like from the comedy side of things, like I'd love to sit down with and like have a real conversation with like Jeselnik or Daniel Tosh or Chappelle, Bill Burr, because like obviously like I don't go into things looking at like the view standpoint, but like the amount of numbers it would give me, but like I just want to like learn how these guys brain. And there's hours and hours of their content on podcasts, but like it's definitely like a selfish thing where it's like I want to learn in real time like how their brain works and like talk to them and learn things from them and like stuff like that. So those guys for sure. And then I mean it would be a fucking dream to sit down with Rogan, obviously, but I would like to catch Rogan like toward the end of his life. You know what I mean? Like I would like to sit down with like a 70-year-old Joe Rogan. Okay. Like a 70 to 75-year-old Joe Rogan, where he's probably done with podcasting at this point. He might be doing stand-up here and there, but I'd like to sit down with like old Joe Rogan and have that conversation. Okay. So yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, those were great fucking answers, man. I really appreciate you answering those for me on this podcast and joining me in my podcast. Now I'm just gonna open it up to you, man. If you want to throw some fucking shout outs.
Yeah. So thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun. This is my first podcast on the floor, so this is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like the setup. It's unique for sure. I wanted to tell you that before we got out of here. This is very like it's tough to do a podcast where it's unique. Yeah. So I think the setup is really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you can follow me on social media, Noah Vargas 2 on Instagram. My podcast is Improvise Intelligence. It's on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Improvise Intelligence Pod on Instagram. Shows every Tuesday. I'm not there every Tuesday, but my buddy AJ throws a show every Tuesday at the Block in Rio Rancho. It's at 8 p.m. And then let's see. So, like, I don't know. When is this going to come out? Do you know?
Like 3 weeks, maybe.
Okay. So, I'm trying to think. I don't have anything really booked for August right now. I know that, like I said, the Block every Tuesday. The last Friday of every month, we do a show at Safe House. The last Saturday of every month, we do a show I run a show at Unhinged Brewing. Both of those are at 8 p.m. And then, yeah, I mean, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. I do late night shows every Saturday, late night radio style. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool, man. Well, you guys heard it. You guys know where to follow him. I'll also throw his tags on the description below. Again, man, it was great having you. Thank you for joining me, man.
Thank you for having me.
This is a great fucking show here today. I can't wait to get it out, dude. So
yeah, can't wait to see it.
All right, man. Until next time, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Small Talk on the Mats, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
Peace.